starting from my education, I was a mass media student. So I think astrology, psychology, and healing, all these three verticals were helping me to feel fulfilled.
It's quite interesting, and I would like to know more about how one can use astrology in healing.
That's the only tool that can help you with the information that no other tool in the world can. People should not underestimate the power of sound therapy. As an astrologer, it should be more than 10-11 years.
So we have Miss Avantika Tripathi today. She is an astrologer, she is a clinical psychologist, as well as she is a marriage and relationship coach. Cultivate your inner beauty and the outer beauty will automatically flow through. So we have a beautiful soul today who's beautiful not only on the outside but also on the inside. So we have Miss Avantika Tripathi today at our Proluxe Studio. And I'm so proud to have her. She is an astrologer, she is a clinical psychologist, as well as she is a marriage and relationship coach. So let's meet Avantika. Welcome Avantika to the PP podcast.
Thank you, Prachati. Thank you for your welcome.
Yeah, and it's so wonderful, you know, Avantika, at PP Podcast, we do a Glamour Well podcast, which is a balance of both glamour and wellness together. Because in current modern times, what I feel is we need to learn how to navigate both the aspects of life, which is, you know, modernization as well as wellness aspect together, so that we are living a healthy, fulfilled life. And when I'm saying so, your life also has been a journey, you know, from your student life to your career life.
Yeah.
So tell us more about this space of yours.
Okay, so starting from my education, I was a mass media student, and I completed my mass media. Then I started working as a journalist.
Okay.
Then I was working for some time as a PR and branding professional. So I was in CorpCom for some time. And then there was a time when I felt extremely interested in learning astrology. Since my father is also an astrologer.
Okay.
And been into this profession for a very long time. So I just, you know, felt that I need to learn it thoroughly. And that was the time that I just started learning it. Still was not very clear with my choice that I will get into it full-fledged. But then there came a time when I decided that I have to be full-fledged into it. And that's where I started practicing astrology full-time. And then there was a time when I got interested in clinical psychology because it's just like Prachiti, that one thing takes you to another. And then you just keep on exploring what is your basic instinct and maybe your purpose and what gives you that feeling of soul fulfillment. So I think astrology, psychology, and healing, all these three verticals were helping me to feel fulfilled when it comes to serving people, because I think the idea was always around to help people with good advices and good healing solutions, and through astrology help them navigate their life in the ways which is little, you can say, difficult to find those solutions through other solutions and tools. That's what astrology can help you with.
Wonderful. It's so interesting, your life journey on how you shifted from being a journalist, a mass media person,
Yeah.
to moving to a clinical psychologist and using astrology for healing,
Exactly.
which is very rare,
Very
for me
rare.
also. It's quite interesting, and I would like to know more about how one can use astrology in healing. So, can you share some
Yes.
light on that?
Absolutely. First, that's also, when it comes to career choices. So, when I was working as a PR and branding professional, so I was always surrounded by people,
Right.
and my life was very different. And then suddenly, making this very clear choice that I will have to sit in one corner of the room and my office, and then the
Right.
only people interaction I would have in my life is through my clients. So that was one thing. But then when I started, visualizing that I'm sitting in one corner of the room and I'm just working in silence, am I okay with that? So
Okay.
then I understood that the person who would be okay with these kind of professions somewhere is a healer,
Right.
because he had
Absolutely.
made this choice to work in
Wow.
silence, to interact with his healing abilities, to work on his healing abilities, what all he is capable of learning as tools like astrology, psychology, healing, other tools, modalities. So he is showing interest in developing
Right.
those modalities, working on it, and then basically offering those benefits to other people.
Wonderful.
So astrology, how, coming to your question, how it can help as a tool when it comes to offering solutions and helping people. There are times when you will feel very stuck, very confused, and you will be cluttered,
Okay.
and you are, so much in basically you're having so much of information that you don't know where to go and
Right.
what is your path and everything. It can be your health, it can be your profession, it can be your relationship, and spirituality.
Right.
So, astrology is that mystical tool that if somebody actually shows that great interest in learning that subject in a very sincere way.
Okay.
So, I think that's the only tool that can help you with the information that no other tool in the world can.
Yeah, yeah. Right, right.
So it's like basically if you are, let's say, you don't know that how your body is. Of course, you may go to some Ayurveda
Yeah,
specialist and all.
with
You
the
can know
dosha
that.
guna analysis.
However, you may not know that after 3 years, your body is going to become like that based on the dasha periods and all.
Right.
So that is where astrologer can help you. Of course, the one who really is sincere in offering his service to the other people and
Yeah.
really has an intention to help and should have a good knowledge. So this is where it can make a difference. Suppose you are not very vivid about your career choices. So you must be thinking that I'll get into IT because
Yeah.
it's a stable profession, it will draw me stable income. But when you sit on your desk, you are just not there.
Yeah.
So there must definitely be something in which you will feel very stable, and you will not feel like going or initiating some other thing in your life once you are into that profession.
Right.
So now when astrologer looks into your chart and has that good idea about that, okay, this is what you are designed to do.
Okay. Nice.
There can be
Wonderful.
2-3 things that you can be designed to do,
Yeah.
or sometimes just one, but he will help you that to bring your focus and
get
throw
the
some
right
light
decision.
there that this is something that you will be able to do properly,
Wonderful.
nicely, and it will not make you feel like that you are dragging yourself there.
Wonderful, wonderful.
So
I
that's
think
the thing.
one needs to understand that there are many layers beyond the mere physical layer.
Yeah.
There are ethereal planes, astral planes, all sorts of planes, buddhic, lower mental body,
Absolutely.
mansik body.
Yes.
And astrology is the one tool that that can identify your generational blockages, gestational blockages, everything, and how
Very-
your life is
Very rightly
moving
said,
ahead.
yeah.
So yeah, in terms of making good decisions, it's really nice and helpful. Having said that, I could find the depth of knowledge when it comes with you, right? Being a clinical psychologist and into astrology. So we have a section with rapid fire round wherein
Okay.
we can shoot a lot of questions and get
Oh my God,
lot
okay.
of answers, deep insights in a
I need
short
to
span
answer
of
that
time.
rapidly. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'll try to.
So yeah, please. So what's your favorite wellness routine?
My favorite wellness routine.
Yeah.
Okay, so to start with, I would say that the first thing that comes to my mind is pranayama and yoga.
Wonderful.
That's the first thing, because it needs to be done, it should be done in the morning hours. And that's where, when you are starting your day with
Right.
pranayam and yoga,
Right.
you will definitely feel better. And then followed by other things, of course, because after pranayam, after doing some pranayam
Yeah.
and yoga, I would get on to, something which is work. So that's something. Then
Nice.
around 1 or 12, I'll start my office.
Okay.
I start taking appointments, and then by 8 or 8:30, I'm usually done.
Wonderful.
And then when I come back, I prefer to meditate. Sometimes it's on and off, of course, why to lie? But yeah, that is something that I prefer to meditate, and I am always using music as a therapy. That's
Wonderful.
something that I
Yeah,
want to
yeah,
highlight, and people should not underestimate the power
power
of
of music.
sound therapy.
Yes.
It's
Wonderful,
It's
because
magical.
Yeah, it's completely magical, because at
Yes.
Proluxe, this is a 10,000 square feet office in Baner, which is your clinical area
Yes.
also. So here we have yantras, pyramids, chakras, and we have crystals in most of the walls.
Okay,
We
great.
have sounds, and our film theater, which is 80-seater capacity. 5 consultants have calibrated the sound there.
Oh, wow.
You know, people who have visited us, so we had an animal astrologer who's the only animal astrologer in UK. So when she's also a sound therapist. When she was here, she said, Prachiti, I'll not bring any bowls here, because the
Okay.
sound is calibrated in such a way that from the sahasrara to your root, everything is opening up.
Wow.
And then I got to know the beauty of the sound calibration.
Wow.
And we just play sound on music, on YouTube, sorry. And we play it on music. We start with pranayam, breath work, chair yoga, and we just put on the YouTube. And everybody attending here for 10 minutes, they enter into a state of meditation without
Exactly.
meditating.
Exactly.
That's the power of sound
That's
therapy.
the power. Even with the people who have ADHD. So now the mind is very hyperactive.
Yes.
And it is very difficult for people who are born with ADHD for them to
Right.
focus.
Right.
So they're always recommended this thing, that you have to switch on those playstations, these music sound stations,
Yeah, yeah.
that you are doing your work and music is being played.
Yeah, right.
Background mein.
We play it
So
at
this
our
is-
place. Yeah.
Exactly. So every time when you are unable to probably declutter yourself,
Right.
and your mind is becoming hyperactive, let me tell you, music therapy is the only thing which is going to help you facilitate with your healing program.
Wonderful, wonderful.
You have to kickstart with that.
Yes. I think music and sound travels faster in water.
Yes.
And our body is 70% of water, which is the reason why we get faster results
Exactly.
with sound therapy. And even each and every word that we speak and say, that's the best sound therapy that we can have, which is our vocal
Exactly.
cords.
Yes.
And
like when the person is healing you,
right.
so his way of talking and communicating, it will be very effective.
Right.
During hypnotherapy, it's different.
Yes.
The way you are talking.
Yes.
So of course, and because it's helping you to interact with different frequencies, and that's why music and sound therapy, you can't ever underestimate the effect of
And
power
it's so
of it.
simple, it's so easily available, so effective.
Yes.
That people in these modern times can continue with their work, but at the same time they can play some music that will heal them.
Exactly.
That's so simple and easy.
We always had this idea. I mean, in the old movies, we would see that people are working and they are playing songs, right?
Right.
So that's exactly what it was always in the picture.
It was always there. And what has happened is wellness is unnecessarily being complicated. So, what's your best way to de-stress?
Okay, I would still say when I was 21 years old, that's where I got, I started doing pranayam.
Okay.
And I would do it vigorously. I would do it for an hour.
Okay.
Today it has become on and off, to be honest. But at that time, it was like, it became the theme that if I have to heal myself, like minor issues, I would only depend on pranayam.
Wonderful.
And pranayam is magical. Yoga is
Yeah,
magical. A lot of people will tell you that, 3 months they have been doing yoga. And unke issues cure hue hain. A lot of things have happened, right? So, I think that's one of the primary programs which I choose to de-stress myself.
Wonderful. Even for me, I think pranayam is the best tool because you can stay without water or food for a day or two, but not without breath. And
Not
breath
without.
is the key and vital
Yes.
force for your life.
Yes.
So getting enough oxygen is also important. And
Yes.
having said that, you must be dealing with a lot of patients and clients. So since how long has been your journey as a clinical psychologist and an astrologer?
Yes. As an astrologer, it should be more than 10, 11 years.
Wonderful.
And as a clinical psychologist, it is more than five, five plus, 5+
Wonderful.
years. Yeah.
Oh my God, then so many patients which are going on around.
Yes.
So can you just share one story of any patient or client? So like any story that you can share?
Okay. Around astrology.
Yeah.
Okay. So see, relationship is one area which is very. I mean, people are very confused about
Right.
it. That who is my soulmate, and whether this is going to be
It's my
long term or
twin flame
not.
and soulmate and so many
Exactly.
studies and theories
Exactly.
going on around.
So they are very confused, and they're also wondering about that whether this is going to be long term or not. So now this is one this is one area where people need a lot of astrological help. I must say,
Right.
because in astrology, through astrology, what we are trying to see when we say matchmaking. Now, matchmaking is not a concept, by the way,
Okay.
where you are having a weak chart and you are trying to find a person with a
Right.
strong marital arrangements or something.
Right.
So it has more to do with matchmaking means that whether your sort of a star system planetary arrangement has some similarity with
Okay.
the other person or not. That is matchmaking.
Okay.
So there are multiple cases, but I remember this one case very clearly where the couple wanted to get married to each other,
Right.
and they were in relationship for quite a few years, and everything was very good between them, and they had a great chemistry, everything. But when this guy came to me, who was my client, so when he started dating that girl, so he asked me in the very first month, Avantika, what do you feel about it when you look into our charts, and what is your observation about it? So when I looked into their charts, and I found that this is definitely not going to work.
Okay.
It won't reach. It won't reach the point of marriage for sure. So now, telling that thing and communicating that thing to him at that very point was very difficult for me.
Right.
Because of course it looked like a very emotional connection as well. So I just said that you have to, since I saw something that the time in which you started dating this person and you got into a relationship, now this is the time which is the time of deep detachment.
Oh, so beautifully you have handled this case.
Very, very
Wow.
deep detachment.
That's nice.
So I somewhere feel, this is my observation, though I would want that things go in your favor and you people get married to each other. But since I can see that I don't see marriage on the cards, so I would still say, because you have just got into it, be positive about it, and if there is any help that you see, you can let me know.
Wonderful.
So when it got over after 8 months, because they started fighting like
Yeah.
anything, and then they were just fighting over something very stupid, very trivial. It was not that important that they couldn't overlook it. But then they kept on fighting. It became very bad between them.
Okay.
And then the girl decided that she doesn't want to go ahead with it.
Oh.
And so he had to agree to it. So then he asked me after 8 months that what did you exactly find in the charts? So I said that this was a sort of connection which was not meant to be in this physical realm. But it has a more, if I look as an astrologer, it had a very deeper, it was very deep as a connection. But didn't have any relevance in this physical realm. So again, everything is karmic, Prachiti. So it was very karmic. But what I saw was, so here I'm going to, get into that technical part of astrology, that the guy was from Rohini Nakshatra, I still remember.
Okay.
And the girl was from Anuradha Nakshatra.
Okay.
So Rohini Nakshatra is Nakshatra of Lord Krishna. And Anuradha is Nakshatra of Ma Radha. So when they entered the relationship,
Right.
that was the period of deep detachment for a guy. So of course their love bonding, everything was great, but they just got attached to get detached later. So there was no marriage.
Right.
So that was the thing which I saw.
And as I listen to you, I am really keen on knowing, because I had some patients, where now I feel that maybe the astrology should be checked, because these guys are connected. The husband is a narc, the lady is an empath,
Okay.
and now there's a wonderful bond.
Okay.
Of course, there are ups and downs, and showers of love and then detachment amongst them. And one is thriving, the other wants to survive, and then she goes ahead trying to survive.
The
and
one who is an empath.
yeah, one who's an empath, but she is also being successful and supported by the husband on and off. Supported as in
Okay.
not truly supported, but then she's better able to navigate that by grabbing the support.
Okay.
So now they are very used to each other. Now what do you suggest in such a case?
Like astrological angle.
Astrological and the relationship angle also, because now it's like now they have kids, now they have a life, they have the social life, they have the family life.
Okay.
The female character is better able to thrive. She's trying to thrive. She needs the
Of
support.
course, because she's an empath, so she will have more emotional responsibility on her
Yeah,
shoulder,
yeah,
and she
yeah.
would be the only one who is
Right.
thinking that she needs to complete, and
Yeah.
she needs to fill those gaps.
Yeah,
And
and then she's also afraid to move ahead with some other things for the kids and all. And now she is completely shut off that thing and
Okay.
moved ahead in life with the same husband, same family, same kids, but she's better able to succeed and thrive.
Okay. So in such a case, firstly, I would want to highlight one fact that many men are not that emotional when
Right.
it comes to connection and relationships. So, okay, so today we know much about narcissism
Yeah.
and this personality type.
Right.
But back then when we didn't know about it, okay. So now when we look at things, so there were many men who were narcissists,
Right.
many men who were toxic.
Yeah.
And just because women are emotional creatures and they are born to think like that because they are nurturers, caretakers,
Yeah.
so there will always be some gap where women will always thrive, and she would be the one who's more concerned about running relationship and filling those gaps and all, and men would be the ones who are just taking advantage of it in clear words, but then they also can't help to some extent because they think like that,
Yeah. Men are
and
from
because they are
Mars,
more
yeah.
rational creatures. So when we feel when we are extremely emotional about something, they can't think like us,
Right.
and that's why they can't behave like us.
Correct.
So they can't give those sort of responses what we are actually looking for. So if they two together are okay and they can't leave each other, so the only thing which will help them to facilitate this relationship is going to be some relationship healing, coaching, and where both of them need to be present. And I have a lot of couples like that.
Okay,
lot
wonderful.
of couples like that.
Wonderful.
Sometimes they will book consultation. When they show urgency, something went wrong, there was a
Yeah.
big fight,
Right.
and then guy will tell me and he will admit it that yes, he behaved in a certain manner, he is having a lot of anger issues,
That's
he
so
doesn't
mature.
know
Yeah.
what he's becoming, right?
Yeah.
So,
That's a
but then
matured
I have
response,
seen
yeah.
drastic change, Prachiti, when men admit that they are going like that about
Yeah.
things, and they need to stop, they need to pause and reflect. So
Wonderful.
things started getting better. So if we talk about narcissism, since we know about it, so we can actually detail and pick things, and we can decide whether to be with such a man. Of course,
Or not,
when
yeah.
somebody is very negative and destructive,
Yeah.
that is where you need to take a decision. But otherwise, you'll see there are a lot of men who are high performers. Now, with that also comes that they can be
Yeah,
narcissists,
yeah,
right? They
yeah,
don't pay
yeah.
so much attention
Yeah,
to
yeah.
relationships. So I think women here need to be little light in their approach
Yes.
sometimes. Of course, they are emotional creatures, they can touch base there and they can be more responsible towards relationship. However, they need to be little rational and playful.
Yeah.
So they need
Yeah,
to
that's
be in that
nice.
feminine element
Yeah,
where,
yeah,
where
yeah.
they're happy also.
Yeah.
So
Rational, playful, a little
sometimes
light.
just
Yeah.
shrug off that behavior of a man because he is born to think like that.
Yeah.
That's his programming. You can't do anything about it to some extent.
Right.
So just
and I
leave
think
it.
acceptance is also the key. Like we can
Acceptance, yes.
accept that we are nurturing women and we have the power. So we
Yes.
will navigate it easily.
Exactly.
And let's navigate it in a playful, thoughtful way.
For a
which
woman,
is
I
so
would only
nice.
say if a man is making an effort,
Right.
this is where you need to be patient.
Yeah.
If he is not making an effort, you need to drop
That's
it right
the
away.
best. That's the best advice, which I
Yes.
think. If
Yes.
you have signs, if he is showing it through his actions, then why not?
Yes.
With that said, I think our conversation will just go on and on. There are so many things, so many tips and hacks that we get from you. Towards the end, what is the closing message that you would give to my audience in terms of wellness? And we can talk on social wellness. So, what
Okay.
is the advice that you would give to my audience?
Okay, so firstly, when it comes to wellness, you need to prioritize your routine. You need to prioritize your sleep routine, basically.
Right.
And you need to sleep on time. You need to wake up on time, because this is something that we are actually not paying so much attention to today. So this is something, because your healing has a lot to do
Right.
with your sleep. So you have to, that is first primary. And the second thing is that you have to do pranayama, you have to do yoga, and
Right.
there shouldn't be any excuse for
Right.
that.
Right.
And then you have to develop some rationality, because rationality, as we know, it can
There
open
has
a lot
to
of
be balance.
portals and help you channel your energy, and you can become more balanced. Because if you're all the time emotional
Right.
about everything,
Right.
too sensitive, it means that you need some help. You need to cure it. So rationality you need to maintain, and you need to divide your day in parts. This is what I always tell to my clients,
Right.
that you need to divide your day in parts. Some people, they may not be studying something right now. They might not be on any job.
Right.
They are not into any relationship. They are not married. So they feel that they are sitting idle, and they end up wasting their time. And then they are more depressed about the matters which are existing.
Right.
So you need to, at least you can be like that, I'm having my breakfast, maybe at 11 or something, 10, whatever. And then you are going for a walk. Then you have
Right.
some routine in the evening as well. So you need to divide your day in parts. That at this time I'm maybe just doing my sound therapy,
Correct.
whatever. Today I'm going to book some healing session. Why not?
Yeah, at
if it is
least
going
act
to help
upon
you.
things. Yeah.
Exactly. And whenever, for wellness, I have to tell this one thing which is very important. Don't think that you can do everything by yourself.
Right.
If you
Absolutely.
need healing,
Absolutely.
you should book an
Yes,
appointment, and you
yes.
should be there.
Reach out to coaches.
A lot of people
Yeah.
develop OCD.
Yeah.
They think that they can, they have remedial measures to it, but they can't do that.
No,
They
no.
can't heal themselves.
Yes.
So an OCD keeps on, getting worse day by day.
Yes, yes.
So you need to book an appointment.
Yes.
You need to get your healing,
Definitely.
and it will start getting better for you.
Wonderful. That's such a wonderful piece of advice. And thank you so much for being on this show,
Thank you,
Avantika.
Proluxe.
It was wonderful. It was insightful listening to you. And thank you so much once again.
Thank you so much for your kindness and
Yeah.
for your very warm welcome. Thank you, Proluxe.
Thank
It was
you.
my pleasure to be
Thank
here.
you.
Thank you.
And with that said, audience, there are so many key takeaway messages from this podcast. The first and foremost is, whenever you have time, whenever you are not studying, you are not at job, not at work, and not doing anything, don't just sit idle. Rather, indulge your time in small activities that will serve you, because action will give you healing. So for healing to happen, also do listen to others, because the mind that caused the problem, you cannot solve the same problem with the same mind. So because healing has to happen through the higher consciousness, there has to be a force that will come and help you. With this said, Avantika, who beautifully merges astrology and clinical psychology together, is helping out a lot of people. So unlike her, also approach to a lot of coaches and let your wellness be easy, with the support of so many people all around. Also, keep listening to this podcast for more such wellness tips and tricks. Let this podcast also help you. So do subscribe to this channel by the name Proluxe Wellness and visit our website proluxeglamourwell.com. Thank you.